So hello everyone, welcome to Android with Java, the second of this series. And this is part one, where we're going to start from scratch and start building a Twitter client. So this week, and again, like everyone said, this is there are 5 weeks left in this class. We did the overview last week where we kind of talked about what we'll be doing and a little bit about some of the technologies we'll be using. And this week, the part of the application we're building is the authentication piece, wherein we sign in to Twitter using OAuth. So the steps that we're going to be dealing with today is just a little bit of an explanation about OAuth again for anybody that missed it last week. I'll talk about the library that I'm using for Twitter. And then we're going to be using a Android component called a WebView and kind of a companion component or companion class that works with the WebView called a WebView client to be able to do some interesting and useful things with Android and the Twitter web application. So this first iteration of getting our app running, we're dealing with authentication. We're going to be using OAuth, like I said. And that is an authentication scheme that offers third-party application developers like us to allow users to use some sort of online resource without the need for us to keep their password, which gives up a little bit of control from the user. So this is a better way. It's kind of the way that a lot of web apps are going, and Twitter is going to be switching off other modes of signing in so that OAuth is the only option. Fairly soon, I think at the end of June. So we needed to do that anyway. But it's also a nice, interesting bit of information to have as you continue your programming journey with getting interesting information off of the web. We're going to be using Twitter4J which is a library, a Java library that does pretty much everything you'd ever want to do with Twitter. Including sign in through OAuth, and one of the important pieces we'll be dealing with is the access token today. The access token is what we use in lieu of the password. And the WebView, that's a web browser component. You can basically put any web browser type of a thing onto the view of your Android application. And to be able to deal with that, you can use a WebView client, which knows it's kind of a delegate, which means that it gets callbacks or it has methods called when certain things happen on the WebView, and you can hook in and implement those methods to get access to the flow of control as certain important things happen, like the user loads a page or the user tries to log in with basic authentication or something like that. And as we build out this application, this is the set of user stories, or basically just one user story today that we're going to be implementing. The user wants to sign in to Twitter so that they can use Twitter as if they were their user instead of just any old public user. So the flow kind of goes like this. We're going to direct the user in the WebView to the Twitter sign-in page, the OAuth sign-in page, which means that Twitter knows we're signing in. The user is signing in using a third-party application, and the third-party application is going to be making requests on behalf of that user. So the user signs in through the WebView, and then Twitter will redirect to a certain URL. We'll catch that URL with the WebView, and then we'll know that the user is then authenticated on Twitter, and then we can go on to use Twitter through our own native controls from then on. The new classes, we're going to be starting from scratch. So the new classes are pretty much from scratch. We're going to be creating an application, which we created last time, something that we created in the first set of these classes. We're going to have two activities, a status list activity, which will be like the main activity, an authorization activity, which will deal with the sign-in, and then we're going to have this little OAuth helper guide to deal with some of the things that we need to do behind the scenes to get set up to sign in with OAuth.